Thank you very much, Conference. And thank you for being here on the final day as we close our conference. First to arrive and last to leave, we are the great survivors. I mean, some might say there is a touch of masochism to those of us who are still here, but I think that we know we are really the very best of our movement, not here for the parties, but for the panels. Not here for the drinks, but for the debates. And not here for the questionable karaoke at the mirror party, but for the motions on the floor of conference. Let me start by saying thank you to everyone who has contributed to this year's conference, whether from the hall or the fringe, on the stage or from the floor, speaker or delegate. You are what makes this party what it is, a movement that is greater than the sum of its parts. More even than that, we are a family. A little dysfunctional at times, perhaps, but a family just the same. Today marks a particular honour for me, my first day as chair of the National Executive Committee. And it is a privilege to chair the body that unites each element of this party, the Cabinet and our members of Parliament, councillors and CLPs, trade unions and affiliates. The Labour Party has always been a big tent, uniting different traditions, ideas and ideals in a single common cause, making our country a better place. I have now been a member of the NEC for nearly a decade. Some of them were dark years for our party, but they were years in which we steered ourselves away from the brink of irrelevance. They were the years that we reconnected our party with the working class communities that we exist to serve. They were the years when we earned our right to be a party of power once more. Today, I become chair in what are dark days once more. But now the situation is different. There is not a darkness in our party, there is a darkness in our country. As the Prime Minister himself said yesterday, we find ourselves engaged in a fight for the soul of this country. And we have a choice between fear and hope, between division and decency, between grievance and renewal. I know the path that we will choose because I know the vision of this country that we all believe in. It is a vision of an open, tolerant, generous place. It is a patriotism that speaks but does not feel the need to shout. It is one that embraces those who trace their roots here back 1,000 years, and also those who look like me. It is a patriotism that accepts that some things about our country will change, but that there is something essential that will always endure. It is the patriotism of a greater Britain, not a littler England. We have met in a moment in which a patriotism like this is at risk. A growing number are turning instead towards something smaller, something more divisive, something darker, something a lot more like ethno-nationalism. A vision of this country that finds no room for me within it. I refuse to give up my belief that we can still reach out to people, because I know that we still have the power to persuade. Yes, we are in a fight, but that fight is far from over. And if there is one thing I know about the Labour Party, it is that we are always up for a fight, and we fight to win. This conference has given us renewed vigour in that effort. From the stage, our Prime Minister and Cabinet have set out the change that we are bringing to this country. A Hillsborough law that rights a decades-old injustice. a defining new target that lifts vocational education to where it should be, equal to or even greater than a university education. A library in every primary school, giving every child the kind of opportunity that only comes from a good start in life. And the next generation of new towns across this country following in the footsteps of Attlee's New Jerusalem. And in my own brief, a migration system that is fair for all. Above all else, one thing has been clear to me at this conference. We know the scale of the challenge that we face. We know that working class communities across this country are calling out for change. That change is underway. Yes, change takes time, but change is coming. And together, I know that we will renew this country. Thank you, Conference. Okay, now I'm going to do the closing formalities of conference, but the first and most important bit of our final business is to say a thank you to all of the organisations that have helped deliver such a safe, secure and successful conference. So, let me say, all the staff at the ACC Liverpool, all the hotels across the city, including the Pullman and Leonardo's, Merseyside Police, Securitas and Carlisle Stewarding, and Ashley Venables and all of our accessibility stewards. Barefoot Live, and Broadsword for all the production, Sign Elise for their BSL interpretation, Prompt Action Auto Cue, and for our little ones, Nip About for the creche provision. And finally, of course, all the Labour Party staff, because we wouldn't be here without them, and they're frankly bloody brilliant. Okay, folks, so now to lead the singing of the Red Flag and Jerusalem, we welcome back to conference Anna Marie Newton. She's accompanied by Stephen Mannings, Director of Choral Outreach at Liverpool Cathedral.